Right, you lot, let's talk Villa. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we are going back to back with the transfer videos because Aston Villa may have just made, or are going to make, a big new signing coming in to the team. And the reason I say big is because this man here, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's Morgan Rogers. The guy is an absolute giant. But let's learn a bit more about the man that could be Villa's new winger, attacking midfielder, striker, giant. So as you can see, we have the Twitter scrolling alongside. I'm pleased to report we've gained a few followers. We're on 81 followers now, 19 away from 100. Hit the link in the description to go over and follow that. And as you can see, with 20 hours left to go, this poll is going to be a hot topic. We've already got 52 votes on today's video tweet, which is about Morgan Rogers coming to Aston Villa. And if we get the here we go from Fabrizio, my guy, just tweet it out already for us, come on. How do you think he's going to do this season in terms of goal contributions? So that is goals plus assists. Not raw goals, not raw assists, but the overall sort of way about it. And we had three options on the poll for today's video. The first option is 0 to 5, the second option is 5 to 10, and the last option is 10 plus. And we have 75% of people saying 0 to 5. 5 to 10, we have 19% of the votes, and 6% of people are feeling pretty optimistic about this young ex-Man City Scarlet and said 10 plus goals this season. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below in regards to today's Twitter poll. Let's get into a breakdown about who Morgan Rogers is, how I think he fits into the team, and how I think he'll do this season. Will I agree or disagree with this poll? Stick around to the end of the video to find out. So let's have a little look into the life of Morgan Rogers, where he came from, his stats going through his career. He's only 21 years of age, and just a bit more about him before we get into his stats this season and where he could fit in for Villa. So I'm going to be flashing photos up across the screen as we go. I have my little fact file research about him here on the old phone. So let's go through this and have a little look at who he is. He was born 26th of July 2002, which makes him 21 years of age. And a little local boy, well, I say little, Jesus Christ, he's 6'4". He was born in Halesowen back then. He went on to play for West Bromwich Albion and play with the likes of Louis Barry and Timo Robignum as well, who are obviously two Villa boys. So hopefully they can be like, come on in, mate, it's brilliant over here on the good side of the teams in Birmingham. But anyway, and he was sold to Man City after he played against them in the FA Cup Youth semi-final. And that was for about $4 million in 2019. So considering his age, buying him back in 2019, he hadn't really made any like solid senior appearances. He made 2 for West Brom. Man City splashed out $4 million on him, and he stayed there for a good amount of years, only signing for Middlesbrough in 2023. But let's go through. So for West Brom, for the under-18s, he played 32 games, scoring 14 goals and getting 7 assists. For the under-21s, he played 20 games where he scored 5 goals and got 4 assists. And then for their senior team, I think he played 1 in the FA Cup and 1 in the Carabao Cup, getting no goals, no assists. It was substitute appearances, as you'd expect for a kid of his age. Then obviously City came in and bought him in 2019. For their under-18s, he played 6 and scored 2. In the UEFA under-19, I think it's like the UEFA Cup for under-19 teams, he played 6 games, getting 1 goal and 1 assist. And then for the City under-21 team, this was before I think the Premier League 2 came in, he played 25 games, getting 6 goals and 4 assists. Now what happened with Morgan Rogers, as is with a lot of young players at these big clubs, your Cities, your Chelseas, your Liverpools, he went out on loan quite a fair amount. So let's break down what I like to call his loan era, which began in 2020 when he was loaned out to Lincoln, where he played 25 league games, scoring 6 goals and getting 4 assists to help them into the playoffs that season, where they finished 5th in the league. I believe he was actually playing alongside Brennan Johnson in that team. I might be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure he might have been, because I think Brennan Johnson won their Young Player of the Season that year. So a good little team for Lincoln back in the day. But after that, he obviously went back out on loan the following season to Bournemouth, where he did struggle a little bit. They finished 2nd that season. I think that was the season where Solanke scored like 35 goals in the league. He only managed 17 league games, getting 1 goal and no assists in that campaign. His final loan of his career so far was to, where are we here? Blackpool, which was in 2022, where he played 22 league games, or 22 games overall, scored 1 goal and got 2 assists for a team, to be fair, that finished 23rd and got relegated. However, that was enough for Michael Carrick. He'd seen enough, and the Middlesbrough boss signed him for around a reported £1 million in 2023. And we're going to move on to what he's been doing this season and some different stats in the next little clip. But that is pretty much his career up to a point. Like I say, he plays left wing, right wing, attacking midfield and striker, mainly deployed as a left winger throughout his career, where he has also scored a majority of his goals and got assists from. In terms of footedness, it's one of those players. I'm not going to say he's like a Santi Cazorla, but some places you look say that he's right-footed, other places say that he's left-footed. So I don't know which one it is. Probably just both-footed, and you'll see. I'll try and find some clips and put them up as the video kind of progresses and goes along. But like I say, 6'4", 21 years old. A lot of upside, and Emery, apparently this is Emery's #1 target for this January transfer window. He believes that with the right coaching, he can turn Morgan Rogers into an absolute world beater. But let's have a look at him this season, have a look at his stats a bit more in depth, and get on to where he fits in the team. So this season for Middlesbrough, Morgan Rogers has been their number 10. So clearly he is starting most games. He has played 25 games in the league, scoring 2 goals and getting 6 assists, which included an assist, I think, yesterday or the day before, as I record this video. And I mean, have a look at this for an assist. Naughty. That took him up to 6 for the season. In terms of the Carabao Cup, I believe tomorrow, because I'm filming this on Monday, it's either tomorrow, I think it is tomorrow, Tuesday, they play Chelsea in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, and Rogers has got 4 goals and 3 assists in 5 games in that Carabao Cup. Obviously, wishing them the best of luck. Destroy Chelsea's confidence before we have to play him in the FA Cup, please, boys. And he played 1 game in the FA Cup, obviously against us, where I think he had Middlesbrough's only shot on target, so fair play. If I can find a clip of that, I'll throw it in, I guess. But yeah, like I say, this season, stats in terms of goals aren't that impressive, but assists, 6 assists is pretty good. I think he's close to the top of the charts for assists in that league. Let's throw up some bigger stats for you. I'll move out the way, obviously, as you know we do. So this is from FB Ref. So versus attackers and wingers this season in the last 365 days. Non-penalty goals, he is quite low on the percentile, but then you look down, his expected assisted goals, 89 percentile. Shot creating actions, 70 percentile. Touches, I think this is in the attacking phase of possession, 86 percentile. And his defensive work is actually something that you'll see later on as well. I think it's highlighted in another chart that I have. His defensive work is quite impressive, and obviously that's something that Emery likes. He likes a workhorse, and work ethic is something that people highlight about Rogers as well. We move on to some other stats though, because this is interesting when we come on to how I think Rogers might fit into our team. This is his last 365 days against forwards. Now I think he could sort of go in as that split striker role, because look, Diaby isn't really working in that position at the moment, and we need someone to back Watkins up and be a focal point as well. You look at this: assists 93rd percentile, expected assists 99 percentile. Shot creating actions, 97th percentile. Passes attempted, 92nd percentile. Yes, his pass completion's low, but, he's trying, and I respect that about a player. Progressive passes, 97th percentile. Progressive carries, 91st percentile. Successful take-ons, 97th percentile. That's big for me, and I think there's another clip of him in his last game where he got the assist, which I'll try and throw up, and he looked good there too. Tackles, again, 99th percentile. Blocks, 97th percentile. Interceptions, you get the deal. Moving on to his who scored strengths and weaknesses. Strengths, dribbling in key passes. Weaknesses, passing, finishing, crossing and holding on to the ball, which for an attacking player, fair enough. He pretty definitely needs to work on those, but Emery sees something in him. And we look at his style of play here. Now, you think about how we play. We like to play it out from the back, but sometimes we do like to lump it long. Watkins getting in behind, but there's no one to support him or hold the ball up, because obviously Diaby isn't natural in that kind of hold-up position. Likes to dribble, likes to do layoffs, which is something, again, that will work for Watkins. If we can get Rogers pinning people and Watkins, Diaby, Bailey making runs off of him, that could be nice. Likes to play long balls, likes to cut inside, but commits fouls often. And We all like John Duran because he comes on and just starts hacking people, so this boy will fit right in. Moving on to his player traits, again, this is how he compares to other attacking midfielders slash wingers. 81st percentile for chances created, aerial duels won as well, 86th percentile for defensive actions. This is really why I think Emery likes him. His work rate is highlighted a lot and his defensive actions are highlighted a lot. And, you know, again, I love Bailey. He has probably been one of our players of the season this year. But defensively, obviously that's one of his weak points. He's an attacker. We don't need to worry about him defensively. But when you have someone like John McGinn playing out on the left who does get back, you could balance that out with Rogers on the right, or you could even play him up front, and then that's that extra sort of defensive solidity for our mid-block, which at some point has been being exposed a little bit recently. Teams seem to be cutting us open a bit more. We have been struggling to keep clean sheets recently. Obviously we did against Everton, but you get the gist. Again, Championship, we see his stats there. Moving on to his attribute overall. So again, attacking and creativity is high, which is good. You want that for an attacking player. Defence is only 33 here. I don't know where they got that from. Technique 56 and 41 for tactical awareness as well. So that is kind of the stats that I've found on him. So how do I think he will fit in if we sign him, which is looking very, very likely. We've bid 3 times for him, and apparently Emery wants him very, very badly. How does he fit in to this Aston Villa team? So he can play effectively 4 positions. Left wing, right wing, attacking midfielder, and centre forward slash striker. Let's look at who we have in those positions. Obviously, Watkins' position up front is secured. Next to him, we kind of switch between Bailey and Diaby. Now, that is the position that I could see maybe he wants Rogers to come and play, because that second split striker drops a bit deeper, does float out wide, and Watkins pretty much remains as our focal point. And sometimes it even merges into like a second striker or shadow striker, if you will, in behind Watkins. And that's how I think he could be deployed for Aston Villa. It's no secret that Diaby has been struggling. I think he's created 10 big chances this season. They all came in like the first 8 to 9 games of the season, and he has struggled since then. I think he just needs maybe a run, not being like relied upon as heavily as he is, and to find his feet in the Premier League, because it is only his first season, obviously coming from the Bundesliga. We saw this with Bailey when he first came to the club. So perhaps he just needs a little bit of a break, and Rogers could come in and play that second striker role. We can ping balls up to him. Like I say, he's 6'4". He can pin a man. He can beat a man. Not pin as in WWE, as in like pin him. Beat a man. He's good at, you know, can dribble past him. He's pacey. He's athletic, and that could work. And again, it kind of takes a bit of the pressure off of Watkins, because Watkins just runs non-stop. He's always pressing, and sometimes he's just up there doing it on his own. If Rogers can come in and kind of back him up in that sense, then that would be absolutely perfect. That's the position I think I'd like to see him play. Majority of his career, he's played out left wing. Now, that position has pretty much been held down by John McGinn for the entire season, and Luca Digne is going to come back, and I've said it in a previous video, but the connection that they have is pretty special at the moment, and I don't think we're going to want to dislodge Kamara and Louise in the middle, because when they play together, they're golden as well. So unless we're going to try McGinn in that split striker role, the same way we've tried Tielemans in there, I don't see that left wing position happening for Rogers. So we'll kind of leave that one to the side. The other one that he obviously does play, attacking midfielder, again, we're going to gloss over that because we don't really play with an attacking midfielder. Our wingers almost are our attacking midfielders when we're attacking, because they do come inside quite often. But we look at Bailey's position as well. Perhaps we want Bailey to go up front and play that split striker role with Watkins. He has done it this season already. He did do it at Leverkusen. He can be deployed as a striker, possibly a bit more conventionally than Diaby can. So possibly Rogers comes in and fits that right mid / right wing role. We know he works his socks off, so he's going to get back and support Cash, who, let's be honest, is a bit of a weak point in our team. Or even, if Concer's back there, he gives him a bit more support. Defensively makes us more sound on that right hand side, which I do feel like we've been exploited down a few times this season. So those are the sort of the 3 positions he could play. Again, let me know down below what you think. I think if he does come in, he would play as that split striker role with Watkins and offer us a massive focal point up front. But in terms of my overall thoughts and feelings on this transfer, look, he's a 21-year-old kid. He struggled with loans, not really working for him in his career after the good spell he had at Lincoln. He's another one of these kids that, leaves for a big club. He leaves his little hometown club, leaves for a big club like City, and they just kind of get forgetting about these youth players. It's like Chelsea, when Chelsea used to have like, I don't know, a whole Bible worth of people out on loan in like the Netherlands and stuff, and these kids just never got a chance. And then, you know, they end up like Lewis Baker at the moment. I think he's like 28, plays in the Championship or League One, and he had so much promise when he was younger. Solanke, fair play to him, he's come through the ranks now and is absolutely firing at Bournemouth. But, you know, he's still 21, he's mouldable. Emery clearly likes him. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and everyone who's anyone in the football reporting industry, like Fabrizio Romano, etc., etc., John Towley, I think his name is, Percy at the Telegraph, they're all saying that this is Emery's number one target. He really, really likes Rodgers, and he wants him in at the club because he thinks he can turn him into an elite player. And you know what? How can we not trust Emery at this point? Because everything he touches at Villa turns to gold. Look at how he's transformed Bailey. Look at how he's transformed McGinn, who, let's not forget, when McGinn was made captain, under Gerrard, we wanted him out of the team. We were sick of him. He's turning Konsa into one of the most elite centre-backs in the world. Look, if Emery wants him, and we get him for a reported around 5 to 10 million is what we're looking for, a 21-year-old young British kid. I think because he's 21, he doesn't count towards financial fair play either, because of like the homegrown thingy-mabobby. But someone else will correct me on that probably, I'm sure. Let's get him. If we get him, 10 out of 10, purely because Emery has said that he is his number one target, and in Emery, we trust. Anyway, that is it for me, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. Hopefully we get Here We Go from Fabrizio Romano very, very soon. Leave your thoughts on Morgan Rodgers down in the comments below. And as always, be nice to everyone. I will see you guys soon.